Being a C64 owner back in the 1980s, I was super chuffed with my computer. I mean, it had the best graphics of any 8-bit computer, and it absolutely had the best sound with the SID chip. There was only one slight little annoyance about being a C64 owner, and that was a lack of speed from the processor. I believe it only runs at 1 megahertz, whereas the Spectrum runs, is it 3 times, 2.5, 3 times quicker? Now that didn't really cause too many problems with arcade games, but where the problems did arise was when the C64 tried to do any sort of 3D type games, and it used to always really kind of struggle big time. Now, in issue 24 of Zap, we thought that all our dreams had been answered when Mr. Andrew Braybrook, who was he was basically chronicling his game, his development of Morpheus. Andrew supposedly found a bug, whatever it was. He found a way of accessing the processor and effectively doubling the speed. Now, what he said in Zap was if you typed this little program in, ran it before you loaded any game, it would double the speed of said game. So, like thousands of others, I typed this little bit of code in, I saved it, and I ran it. And what happened? It came up April Fool. Now, when you get a piece of code from somebody as renowned and respected as Andrew Braybrook, you simply don't expect something like that. And you know what? It was a fantastic April Fool, but to a C64 owner, I was absolutely gutted. I really thought that this was... I thought, wow, I'm going to get twice as quick a computer for, 10 minutes of my typing this in. So anyway, fast forward to 2021. Whilst there are many, little devices that are coming out that can allow your computer to run quicker, one wonderful thing about emulation is you've got the ability to just basically turn the speed up to whatever you want. So instead of playing a game at 100%, you can play it at 200%, 300%. You can even turn on a thing called warp mode, where it will play at like 7,000%, which is obviously way too quick. But that got me thinking, how would some of the games that were quite renowned to be slow and jerky, how would they play if we played it at 200%? So this is just a wee bit of fun. I've featured, I don't know, I think it's 7 games. Playing on the left hand side of the screen, you'll see the game getting played at 100%. On the left hand side, or sorry, the other way around I should say, left hand side is normal speed, right hand side is 200%. See what you think, see if you think playing these games double the speed makes it better. One thing for sure is, having emulators, the ability to be able to do that is wonderful, you know what I mean? And it's kind of got me thinking, do you think any programmer would write a game and make it silky smooth, but he's written it specifically for an emulator so that you can then ramp up the speed to make it better? I don't know, interesting thing. If any C64 programmers are watching this video, is that something you ever would think about doing? I know most people that write for the C64 or any 8-bit machine, you write it so you can actually play it in real hardware, not in emulation. But it would be interesting to see if somebody was to come up with, a version of Outrun that ran at maybe 3 frames a second, but it was like, it drew every single frame so it looked really smooth, and then all you have to do is increase the speed in the emulator to maybe 300%, and it would look really nice. Interesting thing. Have a wee think about it, let me know what you think. Anyway guys, enjoy these 6 games getting played at 200%. So, kicking things off is a game which is renowned as being one of the worst games on the C64, and that game is Chase HQ, which is disappointing because the Amstrad and the Spectrum versions are fantastic. Biggest problem with the C64 one is just the speed. It plays so slow, and it's quite kind of jerky looking. So you can see there, left hand side is the normal one. I'm supposedly doing 240 miles an hour and I'm absolutely crawling. Now you increase that to 200% and instantly you've got a far more playable game. It plays really well. Yeah, the sound obviously is going to be double the speed as well, but the actual gameplay really changes and it actually turns into quite a playable little game. Next up is it was one of my first games I bought actually. This is a Battlezone clone. It's called Stellar 7. Again, left hand side you've got the normal speed, and on the right you've got the 200% speed. Now the problem with this game, again, it was quite clunky because it was really slow. I mean, it's an arcade game, and arcade games should be quite kind of twitchy, should be fast paced, and it just played. It was fine when there wasn't an awful lot of graphics on the screen, but when there was anything moving at all, it just used to kind of chug along. So again, you ramp that up to 200%, and it just turns into a much, much better little game. Now this one, I was kind of in two minds about adding this one to the list, because to be fair, the fact that Jeff Crammond got this game running on the C64 and made it as good a game as he did is fantastic. But I just thought, it's a 3D game, let's give it a wee go, let's see how it would actually play if you doubled the speed. And yeah, whilst the normal speed one is lovely, you can see there on the left hand side, it's really nice. You stick it up to 200% and it turns into a much more exhilarating game. You know, it's far more twitchy. It just obviously moves a lot quicker. But you know, I wouldn't. If you were going to play this game, I wouldn't say you have to play it 200%. But it certainly gives it a new kind of added dimension. And this one doesn't need any introduction. Mercenary by Andrew Wokes, I think it was. No, Paul Wokes, I should say Andrew Wokes. I'm getting my Andrew Brabrooks and my Paul Wokes muddled up. I mean, this was a game, and there might chances are I'm going to get some thumbs down for this video. There'll be plenty of people will be saying, well, you know what, Mercenary was the game that actually proved that the C64 could do vector graphics. And I would completely agree with you. I am not saying that all these games are bad games played at normal speed. What I am just kind of want to put out there is, how does it play if it's playing twice as quick? And again, I think this game does feel better for it. It's just that wee bit more slick, and it kind of looks a bit smoother as well. So give it a go, see what you think. Right, this game, where do I start with this game? It's a game that I bought again on tape, and it took forever to load. On the left is the normal speed. It is just so slow. Don't know why. I've no idea why it played so slow. I mean, it has got quite kind of slick animation, but you know, Way of the Exploding Fist proved that games like that could run faster, and it was this speed that really killed it for me. It just so slow. Even when you killed the last baddie, you had to kind of wait. So give it a go. Right, from Karateka on a Spectrum port, this is Fairlight. Now again, I was super delighted to get an isometric game on my C64. My mate used to play this and I always thought the graphics looked amazing. But again, the problem with this one, it's as sluggish as they come, it really is. So again, you can see there on the right hand side, just being able to play and move that bit quicker, it just makes it opens the game up. And it actually, for me, it turns an unplayable game into a game that you want to play. And the last one is a classic. Now I think I actually loaded up the French version of this. This is the Mighty Elite. Now again, on the left hand side it's normal, right hand side 200% speed. I was a massive fan of this, I played it constantly. Looking at it now, yeah, the C64 one is quite slow, it is quite jerky compared to the other 8-bit versions. I mean, the Spectrum one plays really well. But again, I just think giving it a wee bit of speed boost, it makes the game a lot better. The great thing is with emulators, you can ramp it up as much as you want or as less as you want. So you might want to maybe put it to, I don't know, 150, 175%. Give it a go. So anyway guys, that's just a little bit of fun. Let me know what you think of these. You know, as always, thank you very much for watching.